Hey, Collective, welcome back to Love, Light, and Life Affirmed, your daily affirmations for self-love and growth. Welcome back in, my current subscribers. Thank you guys so much for being here again with me. Welcome to Shadow Work Part 1. So this week, Collective, we're going to talk about emotional awareness, inner truth, and integration. We're going to also talk about basically kind of diving deep in healing, personal transformation, with embracing our shadow, right? Strengths and abilities. We're going to talk about messages from the archangels, get you guys some animal spirit messages and shadow and light oracles at the end. I'm also going to roll the dice, as you can see, for you guys this week, just to see what letters these could be, your first, middle, or last initials, or somebody who you are dealing with that is in any of these shadowy energies that might be significant to you. If you don't see a letter that matches you, that's okay. The message may still connect with you. So first we have Q, T, L, Y, the letter C. Okay. O, F, U, Z, the letter J as well. Okay. And we have the letter W, the letter Q again, the letter E. Somebody that is in heavy contemplation about their shadow at this time, deciding if they want to choose healing. One more roll. The letter V, P as in Paul, the letter C again, the letter Z again, the letter G again can be significant to you, collective, at this time. Again, first, middle, last initial, yours or theirs. All right, let me also get you some numbers and some dates that might be of significance to this message. 55, you could be 55. The number 10 could be significant. Endings and new beginnings is very significant at this time. 12, the month of December. 3 as well could be significant. The month of March, the month of October. 310. This is a very significant number in the collective. It is a very consistent number. So this could be someone's birthday. So March 10th, October 3rd, this could be somebody's area code to a phone number as well. 3 again. 111 is also significant. This could be the beginning of your address, a synchronicity number that you're seeing a lot. 111, we just passed the beginning of the year, beginning of the calendar year, which was the 111 portal. We also had the 1111 portal as well on January 11th. The number 6, the month of June, can be significant. Also, the number 7, the number 2, July 2nd, February 7th as well. January 8th or August 1st could be significant. All right, one more roll. 444, another synchronicity that you could be seeing. So 111, 222, 333, 444. These numbers can be significant to you, collective, at this time. The number 2. Number 2 talks about decisions. It talks about things that are blocking. So shadow work are usually things that are blocking us from manifesting, from reaching our goals, from healing. This is also about making a decision to move forward. The number 12 could be significant again, the month of December. Also August 6th, June 8th, 68 or 86. These could be years you were born, your ages as well. One more roll. Okay, I have 59, 69, 69, Cancer energy. You could be 69, 96. You could be born in 69 or 96 as well. The month of June, the month of September, June 9th, September 6th. 4/11 could be a synchronicity. April 11th, November 4th. July 8th could be significant as well, or August 7th. Okay. All right, collective. So welcome back to the channel, you guys. So let's see what's the most important shadow energy that, we as a collective need to work on. What is the strongest energy that you guys are dealing with at this time that we need to focus on in order to kind of help you figure out how to move through, recognize it, as part of your shadow. I think the beginning of shadow work is just even recognition. That's what I'm here to do, help you even recognize what shadow aspects are. This is not something that is common conversation for the majority of us. So, fear of success. A lot of you guys are going to have opportunities at the beginning of this year. We are in the energy of the new moon in Capricorn, which is about resetting. I talked about this in my weekly message that I posted on Sunday. So if you missed that, check it out. That was on January 18th, the day of the new moon in Capricorn. And this is very significant. A lot of people have success opportunities coming towards them, but a lot of people fear success, especially if it's uncomfortable. Being in a leadership role, that's also something I discussed on Monday in Law of Attraction. A lot of people have this energy of being a leader, a boss that is coming towards them again. But if you have fear around this, you can sabotage because there is a fear of expansion. When you are someone who grew up surviving on less, the thought of you actually receiving more makes you uncomfortable, as crazy as that seems, right? Because it's always growing up, you say, I want to be successful, I want to be abundant, I want to be wealthy, I want to be rich, right? But when you grow up in lack or just survival, the thought of actually receiving that abundance can be scary. Fear of expansion, pressure, visibility, being seen by others, wondering how people will, judge you. So that is about you having self-confidence and not self-sabotaging, your success. You deserve success, especially if you're someone who works really hard. And most of us in the collective, we do. Shamed for being you, humiliation, inner critic, identity suppression. Again, yeah. So this is about you being afraid to show you in your authenticity. And this is also going to contribute to that fear of being successful. Again, it's about judgment. It's about external judgment. It's about fear of humiliation from others. But let me tell you something, collective. Again, people who are okay with trying to humiliate other people, to me, that says more about them and their own insecurities versus the person or people they are trying to shame or humiliate or judge. You really have to think about it. It's almost like that kid who grew up in a household who was neglected by their parents. So when they go to school, they bully others because they don't have attention from their parents in the home. They don't have love and nurturing. So that anger that they feel, that resentment that they feel, they take it out on other people who they feel are smaller or weaker than them. You don't need to fear being shamed by other people. What you need to realize is when someone is trying to do this to you, you need to look at that other person and realize that there's something deep down that they are battling, even if you can't see it. There's a sadness there, anger there. Fixing isn't healing. Boundaries, self-focus, release. So covering up, trying to hide your flaws, trying to wear a mask, it doesn't allow you to heal. You have to focus on going within. You have to focus on not just the surface, right? You have to release those things that actually have been hurting you. And you can't fix something from your past. It's already happened. So you have to look at the situation, whatever that is that happened with whoever it was that was involved. And you have to figure out how to move past it, how to forgive yourself in that situation. So for some of you, you may be able to forgive the individual in the situation. Some of you, you won't. And that will be up to God to forgive that person. But it is about focusing on yourself. It is about going within, diving deeper. And then in the meantime, making sure that you have healthy boundaries with other people, making sure that people are not able to overstep your boundaries of, comfort. People violate people's privacy all the time, overstep people's boundaries all the time. You have to be able to keep that in check as much as possible while you are trying to heal. But covering up with a smile, with nice clothes, that's not healing. Not everyone will understand. When you have to create distance, not everybody will understand. When you isolate, in order to figure out how to live in your own truth, your own authenticity, in order for you to figure out how to trust yourself again, not everybody will understand why that means you have to be isolated, why you can't be around a whole bunch of people and their energy. A lot of people sit in negative energy and it affects your own the more that you're around them. Attracting wounded partners, unhealed self, trauma bond, mirror effect. Yeah, this is a pattern. This is just a relationship pattern that you have to understand about yourself. Why is it that you keep attracting the same type of energy, the same type of partner? You know what I mean? That is something within you, something that you're trying to fill a void with. And so, in order to get out of that pattern, again, you have to dive deep. You have to go back and figure out, okay, where was I first abandoned, or where did I first feel a void in matters of the heart? Most of the time, it starts at childhood with our parents. And not to say that everyone grew up in a negative household, no, because your parents only knew how to nurture you in the ways that they knew how to nurture you. And that was based on how they were nurtured. This is why we talk about generational curses. It is family patterns of behavior, of relationships. If you look at your family lineage, how many people stayed married or got married? How many people had children out of wedlock? How many people in your family had kids with multiple partners and were never married? See, these are generational patterns. How many people, from a woman's lineage started having kids at 16 or at a very young age? That is a pattern. It's just about recognizing it so that you actually know how to break it. And knowledge, it starts with knowledge. Self-sabotage. This is a big one. A lot of people do this. They self-sabotage. Destruction, doubt, survival habit. Yeah, it is because of that lack of confidence. It is because of that fear of success that people sabotage connections, relationships, friendships, even family connections. There's so much jealousy and envy that some people have and live in the energy of, that they self sabotage. Trueness, people pleasing, another big one. This is a pattern. approval seeking, self-abandonment, smiling mask, somebody who is always trying to make sure that everyone else around them is happy. But if you see their face in the background there, collective, see that image here? That is truly who that person is, or maybe who you were at this point when you were people pleasing. If this is the energy that you are in, take off your mask. Stop pleasing others to the point of your sadness, depression. You're abandoning your own needs for the needs of others. And most of the time, what makes it so bad is that you are going out of your way for people who would never go out of their way for you, who would never wake up at 2 a.m. if you needed them, who would never go out of their way to even help you move if you needed to move, or, if you got stuck on the side of the road, would not pick up the phone in that emergency. So why are you always that person people can call on? But you don't even have two people that you know for sure that if you were in an emergency, you could call on. I'm speaking from experience when I say these things. So this is not about judgment. Again, I don't do that on this channel. It's so easy to judge everyone. It's so easy to project. This is just about acknowledgement. This is about accountability. This is about accepting what it is so that you can begin to figure out how to alter your behavior, change your mindset in order to alter the behavior to make you feel more self-empowered. Because at the end of the day, collective, we all deserve happiness. We didn't grow up in perfect households, in perfect, relationships with our parents, or we didn't have perfect connections. But it doesn't mean that it's not what's deserved. But you have to see what you deserve before anybody else will see it. Escape from stillness, distractions, inner turmoil, avoidance. A lot of people, instead of sitting with themselves to figure out what those issues are, where they need healing, people would rather distract themselves with other people, rebounds, numb their pain with substances, with bad habits. Whatever those things are is going to be different for everybody. But instead of sitting in stillness, because stillness that I talk about in Law of Attraction, stillness is where you find your true clarity. Stillness, when it's quiet, when you have 10 or 15 minutes to sit in silence, no distractions, no phones, no outside noise, nothing. That is where you find clarity. Your thoughts can become clear. You can ask yourself those important questions. You can remember this memory that's maybe been buried for so long. Stillness. So don't avoid stillness because you're afraid to be by yourself. Embrace that. Parental control. Overpowering authority, conditional approval, rebellion, freeze. A lot of people deal with this, even now. Parental control. A lot of people, even in their adulthood, feel like they've never truly been able to actually make their own decisions about their lives without having to consider their parents' approval, out of fear of being ridiculed or judged, out of fear of, yeah, my right hand is itching, out of fear of something being taken away. Some people, even in their adulthood, is very codependent on their parents. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't feel like you can depend on your parents. That's not what I'm saying. But when I say codependent, meaning that a lot of people in adulthood that have parents that are very controlling do not even have a life of their own, not even have a life that they're living based on their own choices. And this is something that has been conditioned, again, from childhood. Okay. So, what are some shadow aspects we can embrace? Embrace uncertainty. Not knowing what's next is not failure. It's an opportunity for reinvention. So you don't always have to know what's next. You don't always have to know all the answers to make a different choice. And there we go. Confirmation, releasing judgment. Do not fear your darkness. You are not good or bad. You are human and evolving. Okay. I like that one a lot because it is a humanizing statement. We all start with a clean slate and we all have choice. But at the same time, our upbringing is usually not by choice. Where we're born, the home we're born into, the situation we're born into, the family unit we're born into, the bloodline we're born into. The mirror effect. What frustrates you in others is a reflection of something unhealed within you. Another thing to think about. So, what is it about a particular person or situation that frustrates you? Maybe it has something to do with something unhealed within you that you need to look into. People who are mad about other people who are confident. Well, to me, that tells me that you lack confidence in a certain area of your life because somebody else's confidence, somebody else's self esteem shouldn't matter to you if you have your own self esteem, self confidence. Perfectionism trap. Seeking flawlessness leads to self sabotage. Embrace progress over perfection. Confirmation. My right ear is itching. Yeah. Confirmation. This is a big one. A lot of people, again, this is where judging others comes from. And it's interesting to me when I really think about this idea of perfectionism. It's almost the thought of, is there, a checkbox that we don't know about somewhere that someone has created with all of these characteristics and physical attributes that someone has to have in order to fit into this perfectionism? I doubt it because most of the time it's based on other people's opinion or the popular opinion. And the reason why I don't like the popular opinion because the popular opinion changes a lot. The popular opinion changes depending on what everybody else thinks. It has nothing to do with an individual being authentic. So all of that is just illusion anyway. So there's no point in trying to be perfect based on the opinions of others because that opinion of somebody else they got from the opinion of somebody else. And breaking karmic cycles, yes, breaking those generational curses, those karmic cycles. Recognize repeating patterns and take action to break generational wounds. Confirmation. This is exactly what I was talking about. What are those patterns within your family dynamic, within relationships that you see? Well, obviously, one of them is the fear of love, and this is a huge one. Past hurts can create walls. Be mindful of where you block love from entering your life. Self sabotaging behavior all the way. Because love is abundant, love is available if you truly want it in your life. But people fear love, they fear intimacy. And it's because they don't truly even know what love really is. When you grow up in an environment based on manipulation, but they called it love, control, but they called it love. This is how you see and perceive love. This is how you actually show love to others now, because this is all you know, even in its falseness. To you, it may make sense because that's what you know.